Hello everyone, I'm Michelle Smith and welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time here, then welcome. I'm so happy you found me. I have a Dollar Tree DIY for you today. In today's crafting adventure, I'm going to show you how to make this adorable patriotic table decor. All of the items with the exception of the paint came from Dollar Tree. Let me show you how to make it. For today's project, you're going to need 3 of these wooden arrows that you can pick up at Dollar Tree in the Crafter Square section. They do come with a jute cord stapled on the back. You're going to want to remove that, and if you can get the staples out, you want to remove those as well. I'm going to be using 3 of them, but if you only want to make 1 or 2 or however many you want, you're going to need some red, white, and blue paint. My white is just the regular apple barrel white. And then from Folk Art, I have some lipstick red. And from Folk Art, cobalt hue. I have my paint laid out. And so the first thing I'm going to do is lay down my base coat on each of these. For the first one, I'm going to do red on the tip and then navy on the base. And depending on what paint you use, you may need to put 2 coats. Okay, so I have my base done on my first one. I'm going to do my second one on this one. I'm going to do the opposite. I'm going to put the blue on the top and then the red on the bottom. And when you paint, just make sure to get the sides here. This wood is kind of thick and they will show. If this is something that you're going to put maybe on a center table, you might want to consider painting the back the same base colors that you paint the front, just in case the back shows. I'm going to be displaying this on my mantle, so I'm not going to worry about the back. And on my third one, I'm going to paint the top white and the bottom red. I have the base of all 3 of my fireworks or firecrackers painted. I also pulled out 4 small wood stars. These are about 1 inch to 1.25 inches in diameter. I picked these up from Dollar Tree at Christmas time. So I painted 4 of those white. If you don't have any of these and you can't find any, you can always use a stencil, a star stencil, which Dollar Tree does sell as well. Also at Walmart, I have seen the wood stars. And also in their button department, they had really cute star-shaped buttons last year, so you can check there as well. And then here I pulled out the letters to spell freedom. And these are the wood cutout letters that you can get from Dollar Tree. And these I'm going to paint the navy blue here while I'm waiting for the rest of my stuff to dry. I have my base coat on everything. Now we want to let this completely dry before we move on. While this is drying, I'm going to work on my base. You're going to need one of the small plaques that you can get from Dollar Tree. They have several different sizes and shapes. This is one of the smaller ones. You'll need one 1-gallon paint stick. This is the smaller paint stick. And then 2 of the small wood blocks that you can get from Dollar Tree. They come in a package that looks like this. You'll only need 2. If you have the Jenga blocks, you could use one of those instead. And now here on the paint stick, the end that is square and doesn't have the indentation is the end that you want to glue the 2 blocks on. And we're going to glue them side by side right down here on the base. This will help us to attach it. And I'm going to be attaching it using a combination of Aleene's original tacky glue and hot glue. So right here at the base, I'm just going to add a little bit of the Aleene's. And then just a couple little drops of hot glue. The hot glue will just hold it until that Aleene's glue is able to fully set up. And you want to make sure that you stand that up. You want those to be nice and flush. And I'm just going to add some hot glue right across the seam here to give it a little bit more stability. So you want to let that glue fully set up. My hot glue has set up, so I'm going to move forward. I'm just going to add some more of the Aleene's tacky glue here on the very bottom. And a couple more drops of the hot glue. And I want to place this on my base, and I want it kind of in the center, but a little further back. I'll show you in 1 second. Okay, so I have it in the center this way, but this way I have it set a little further back, and that's because I'm going to be attaching my firecrackers or fireworks here on the front. You're not going to be able to see any of the stick from the front, so I'm not really worried about that. This is just my support for my decor. Now once this fully sets up, I'm going to give the base and the backing here a coat of white paint. Okay, so everything is pretty dry. I wanted to add a little bit more painting detail onto some of these, so I'm going to start with this one. I just have some painter's tape. This is going to help me keep my paint where I want it. So I'm taping off the top and the bottom. And then I wanted to add some striping here to the top. The first one I want right down the center. Okay, see, I have a nice thin stripe down the center there. Now you want to press down, make sure that tape is nice and secure so you don't get any bleeding. And you'll want to use one of these pouncing brushes. These also help so that you do not get bleed. Now I am going to be adding more stripes, but I want the stripes to come out at an angle on the sides, so that's why I'm just going to do this first one. Get a little bit of paint and then just go ahead and pounce it on. You want to go up and down. Give that a second to set and then go over it one more time. So you get nice, good coverage. Once you have the coverage that you want, you can go ahead and remove your tape. Just be careful. And you get a nice, pretty stripe. You want to let this stripe dry before you tape up to add the other stripe. So while I'm waiting for that to dry, I'm going to move on to this one. Again, I'm going to tape it off between the top and the bottom. I'm working on the bottom. Then on this one, I want to do some diagonal stripes. Okay, so I just eyed that, and depending on what size of tape, I did 2 stripes because I want this to be red and white down here. So I already have my red, and now I'm going to add my white. Kind of move the tape out of the way. Again, you'll want to use the pouncing brushes. These are the best when you're trying to work with tape. And then just pounce up and down and go over it. Don't forget, you'll want to get those little sides there too. But your main concern right now are the stripes. So you may need to go over it with 2 coats depending on what paint you're using and how well it covers. Once you get enough paint on, go ahead and remove your tape when it's still wet. And then let it completely dry. If you get a little bit of bleed, don't worry about it. You can always touch it up once it's completely dry. Okay, so I'm going to work on adding some more stripes here. Okay, so I taped about 1/4 inch. I want that to stay white. And then I'm going to add a stripe on either side. Okay, so I have that taped off, and now I'm going to go over that. Now you can add however minty stripes that you want. You'll just want that paint to set up and dry before you keep taping off, because if it's not fully dry, the tape will remove the paint you just put down. Everything has been painted and is fully dry. I did go back and paint one of the stars blue instead of white. So I have 3 white and 1 blue. Now we're going to start to assemble them. Now on this guy here, I want to put the word freedom. So I'm just going to lay it out and get my placing down. Okay, so that is how I am going to attach it, and that's why I decided to paint one of the stars blue. I wanted to put it on the end there. And now I'm just going to glue that down using a mixture of the Aleene's tacky glue and hot glue. Okay, I'm going to get the rest of my letters and my star glued down. I got my freedom on and my star. I think that looks really cute. Now before I add my white stars, I'm going to put my 3 together. I want my striped one, since it's the brightest, to be in the center. And this one I'm going to want to go straight up and down. The one that says freedom is going to go in the front. I'm going to drop this one down, and it's going to angle out to one side. And then this one I'm going to put in the back and angle out the other side, kind of like this. But I want to get these attached together before I put the stars on to make sure I have the right amount of room. Like that. And I'm going to attach these the same way with the Aleene's tacky glue and hot glue. And then decide where you want the other one. I think that looks good like that. Just by marking it here on the back, we'll make sure I get it exactly where I want it again. Okay, I'm real happy with that. Now I'm going to add my stars. Just need to decide where you would like to place them. And I like that, so I'm going to go ahead and glue those down. So I have my 3 fireworks together. I'm really happy with that. Now I'm going to place it onto my stand. I think that looks really good like that. Now this one is touching the base. Now if you flip it over, only this very back firework is going to attach. So you need to make sure that you mark that so you know where it is. Go ahead and glue that down using the same Aleene's tacky glue and hot glue. Now hot glue will give you that instant hold that you want so that you can keep working, and the Aleene's tacky glue will give it a nice permanent hold so it does not come apart. I want to make sure that glue fully sets up. Now I'm also going to add a small amount of hot glue right down here to keep that end secure. And there you go, we are all done. I think it came out absolutely adorable. And for just a couple dollars and some paint, you can come up with such a beautiful patriotic table decor. Now I did go in the back here and reinforce with a little bit more hot glue on either side of my paint stick. And as you can see, the back isn't that attractive. So if you're going to place it somewhere where you're going to be able to see the back, you can either paint the back all white, or you can do the same base tone that you did in the front on your fireworks. Well, I hope you enjoyed today's tutorial. If you did, please give me a big thumbs up and show me some love in the comments. This really does help support my channel. It lets YouTube know that I have content that's worth watching, and then they show it to more people and my channel grows. Thanks again for stopping by. It's always a pleasure to see you. I hope everyone is staying happy, healthy, and strong. Have a great day, and I'll see you next time.